What's up, guys? We are finishing out the Masters of the Universe Classics Wave 1 figures from Super7 today. We are taking a look at a figure that I never knew I needed until they announced him being a part of this line. So we're going to take a look at the latest Snake Man to be added to the Motu Classics, FANG-OR. This guy is packaged in the standard box, so same thing that we've seen every other figure so far. He's in that huge bubble. He just looks absolutely wild. He looks so cool. Very excited to get into this one. We got that Super7 logo on the side. We've got a brand new bio for him here on the back with our 8 back images of all the figures in this first assortment. So let's get into it and take a look. Alright guys, so here is FANG-OR out of the box, and his crazy design notwithstanding, I think this is one of the better figures in this entire wave from Super7. I mean, he obviously looks really cool. There is a lot going on here. His design is just very, very cool to me. Very interesting design. There's a lot more detail here than some of the other figures, and he also comes with a tremendous amount of accessories in comparison to every other figure so far. So let's take a look at articulation and paint and sculpt and all that, and then we'll dig into his overall package. So as far as articulation goes, it is standard Motu Classic stuff. There are a few oddities with his articulation that I guess some folks would probably consider errors or problems. They don't really bug me, but they are worth noting. So the head can rotate, and this is obviously one of 2 heads. He has the shorter fanged version, the ones where the fangs are not extended. So these could, in some ways maybe impede articulation, but not really. He can rotate, he can look up and down, and this head actually seems to look up and down better, but it's very loose, and the head actually will come off very easily. It's not falling off in any aspect. It's not like it's a problem for me. I can't, look at him and the head's going to pop right off, but it's definitely looser than any other figure that I've had so far. Arms can go out, they can spin. We've got the bicep swivel, we've got a single joint elbow, and we've got rotating wrists. He does have an ab crunch. He can go back, but only barely, because the armor is going to start to hit the lower piece, and then he can look forward. It doesn't really have much of a ratchet in it. It's very much loose, but at the same time not loose. It feels loose, but everything sort of sticks in place for me. So while it is, I guess, loose, it doesn't present a problem for me, but I have seen folks complaining about it, so I'll mention it. He does have a twist at the waist. His legs can go all the way out. He's got that longer loincloth, so he does have a little bit of blockage there when you kick the legs out, and then they'll go back. We've got thigh cut, single jointed elbow, boot cut, or that's a knee, not an elbow, a knee, and then we've got a rocker and a hinge down at the ankle. So it's basic Motu Classics stuff. You're certainly not missing anything there. Now, as far as the paint and the overall sculpt on this guy, that's definitely where he shines for me. I expected to get the normal articulation, but in person, in hand, everything about this figure just looks so awesome to me. All of the embellishments on the armor pieces. We've got the snakes that wrap around the collar. We've got the various kind of frills on these gauntlets here that are all different colors, all different paint apps. We've got those rather detailed shin guards down there, which have the same kind of color scheme. And then we've got the huge belt with the furry loincloth. Of course, being a Snake Man, he is going to be covered in scales of some kind, and I'm pretty sure this guy basically shares the King Hiss body. Maybe not necessarily the torso, because King Hiss's torso is different than this, I believe, but the arms and the legs are that same kind of King Hiss style. The head, though, is without a doubt what draws people, and me in particular, to this figure. I think it is just amazing. It looks really wild. It's very well sculpted, a lot of scales sculpted into that head, those deep, sunken yellow eyes, and obviously the teeth are the big thing. His name is FANG-OR for a reason. He's got that gaping mouth. You can see the kind of pit in the tongue inside the mouth, and then those huge teeth, which just looks so cool. I'm very much happy with every aspect of how he looks in the head and face department. I don't have any issues with paint. I think it's very nicely done. And I'm just ultimately very satisfied with his overall sculpt and paint. I think he is a very, very good representation of what a Snake Man should be. And I just think they did a very nice job on just about everything here. The only thing that I wish maybe could have been different about this particular head is that because of one of his his traits is that he can projectile shoot his teeth. Once they've been extended, is that maybe they could have been popped out, but these guys are stuck in there. Other than that, though, and that's just kind of wishful thinking, I'd have probably lost them by now already, honestly. But they just look really cool, and obviously this is one of two heads, so we'll talk about the other one shortly. But in terms of sculpt and paint, I have absolutely no issues with this guy. I think they knocked him out of the park. Very much a Snake Man-esque design, from the armor to the actual body, to the head, to the paint scheme. Everything looks good, and he is also very much a unique looking figure at the same time. Now, as far as accessories goes for FANG-OR here, we have a rather large spread, all things considered, especially compared to the other figures in this wave from Super 7. So to start off, we've got one traditional weapon. We've got the sword. He's got that silver blade with some battle damage on the backside there. You can see it's got some notches in it. We got a black handle and brown handle, and the brownish red, I suppose, is the color it matches the armor for FANG-OR here. And sticking with the overall theme of the character that was kind of established in what little he's been in, because this guy came about only, 5 or 6 years ago in the old Classics mini comics. So he's relatively new, all things considered. He's kind of the armorer, inventor, engineer type guy for the Snake Men, and he comes with some tools. So we've got a screwdriver, and it matches the gold and the red-brown on his armor. We've got a hammer, which has a snake-style, whatever the top of a hammer is called. And then we've got a wrench with some snake embellishments on it as well. It's got like a mouth and eyes. So while I'm probably not going to be using these in my display, I like them. I think they are a cool inclusion, something unique. It adds to the character of FANG-OR, so it kind of builds that mythos up a little bit. And then we've got the extra head. So like I said, this will pop off really easily, more easy than some of the other figures so far. But this is basically the short fang version. You can see there's an obvious difference. Heads are the same paint apps, same everything, just shorter fangs. This one seems slightly more evil to me somehow, but I think I'm always going to use the long one myself. And then the last thing this guy comes with is a little snake buddy. I'm not sure if he has a name or not. He's a flying winged serpent. Not gold, that is green and brown, and he's got a little light green in the eyes with the same kind of dark maroon, brown, red for the mouth and the white teeth. But I'm not sure he's meant to go on FANG-OR, but I found if you kind of tuck him under the armpit there, you can kind of get him to rest on his shoulders like that. Maybe not, that may not be his intended purpose, and you can get him in a little more dynamic poses than that if you kind of sit him correctly. But it's something, and I'm always up for extra little fun inclusions like this. It's kind of the same thing with Cobra Khan and his little guy that he comes with as well. So he's got a lot to choose from. So we got one weapon, 3 tools, 1 head, and of course, little winged serpent buddy there. So overall, I mean, I don't think I have any real traditional complaints about this guy. The only things that I think I could even begin to complain about are the fact that the head and the ab crunch are a little loose. But at the same time, they are loose in a sense that they move freely. They aren't nearly as tight as the other figures, but they haven't presented a problem for me either. So I'm not sure I can really consider them problems yet. For now, I am absolutely satisfied with this figure. He is an amazing figure. I think everything about him is really cool. Everything from the design to the paint scheme to the armor choices they made to all the extra accessories that kind of build upon his character, giving us a little more info on this guy that we really don't know a lot about. I am all for him. I think he is an excellent addition to this wave, and I think Super 7 and the Four Horsemen really knocked it out of the park on this one. So that is going to do it for this look at the Super 7 Masters of the Universe Classics FANG-OR figure. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.